Retro Rob plays everything.
Hey there, real gamers and gatekeepers, Retro Rob here, and today we're going to take a look at my TurboGrafx collection as of 2021. I had originally meant to do this about a week ago, but one of the games hadn't shown up yet that I won off of eBay. It still hasn't shown up yet, not the fault of the seller, just one of those things where USPS kind of lost it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it without it. If it happens to show up before posting, I'll put it in there. But I have really added to my collection. It's still tiny. I mean, it's still like 12 games or something. But I only had like 2 or 3 games for years for it. For the record, at one time, I had scads of games for it. I bought it, I think, in the early 90s on clearance. Not this one, but my original one. At Toys R Us in Illinois, like right across the border. I'm trying to remember the name of the mall, but there's a mall right across the border, and I picked it up on clearance for like next to nothing. And then I proceeded to collect an amazing selection of games on clearance, like Zonk. I had Bonk. I had Parasol Stars. I had like just pretty much every major game release, but there were some really odd missing ones there because they were like more heard of games or were games that were popular at the beginning. Anyway, I'm talking way too much. Let's just get started and take a look at what I've got. This is my TurboGrafx 16. There are many like it, but this one is mine. And this one is special. Yep. Anyway, TurboGrafx 16 controller. In my opinion, one of the best darn controllers ever made, at least as far as construction quality. These were built amazingly well. Weird design choice. Believe it or not, from the factory, they only had one controller port, and you'd have to buy a multi-tap to play multiplayer on it, which is really weird. Worst thing is, I got rid of my multi-tap a while back, and I'm going to have to go rebuy it because this is one of the game systems that's going to survive the Great Purge, which I'll be talking about eventually. This on the back here is a turbo booster. There are a couple different versions of the turbo booster. One of them actually has memory in it so that you can save a game, but this one doesn't. This is the basic one, and it basically adds composite out. You could actually make this with just basically some wire, to be honest. If you had some old RCA jacks, you could basically wire one up. In fact, I did that for a while before I got the turbo booster. But I think the turbo booster looks way better than just sticking some wires out of the back. Fortunately, I didn't hack up my original cover, so I've got that too. All right, let's go on.
Thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, or I will go Skynet on your butt.
Ladies and germs, meet the Turbo EverDrive. This is just basically an SD card reader for the TurboGrafx 16. I put the games on here, plug it in, and it just basically activates like a multi-cart. Activates? What am I, a Wonder Twin? Hey, activate! No, it does. I mean, it does act. I don't know why I said activate. But anyway, it does act just like a multi-cart. So basically you get a menu and you can select what game you want to play. This is a very old EverDrive, by the way. This is from, I believe, the first batch of them. And they didn't actually come with this cover. I had this 3D printed by a friend of mine. So, nice stuff. Next, this is my only absolutely complete game. Hold on. JJ and Jeff. And this, in my opinion, is one of the best darn platformers of all time. And I used to play this one with my wife all the time when we were dating. So it's got the game, and open it up. There's a manual, and of course the game card. That's what the games look like. Notice how on the back there's nothing. This is going to be the only back I show you because they're all like this. Nothing on the back. Really weird, right? Anyway, let's go on. Alright, next we have Final Lap Twin, which is famous for being both a racing game and a racing adventure game. And neat little game. Actually, I like this quite a bit. I think I've only played like a minute or two of it since I bought it again, but I am looking forward to taking some time with it. I might do this one in a live stream instead of, like a pre-recorded thing. I thought this would be a really cool game to live stream, at least the RPG part of it. Next we got Parasol Stars, and I know it looks horrible, but the game's way overpriced, so this is the only way I could keep it under $100. I have some damage to the manual here, but the game itself works just fine. Played quite a bit of it. This is a Bubble Bobble series platformer, and if you have not played this is probably one of the best of the series to play. It's not absolutely the best. I think the original one is still one of my favorites in Bubble Memories, but this one is really great. By the way, one of these days I really got to do the story of this, but there's actually more than one Bubble Bobble 3. Yeah. So anyway, and I think there's like 3 Bubble Bobble 2s. Let's go on. Next, we have Legendary Axe, which isn't in amazing condition, but it's okay. This is a beat 'em up, and I have not actually played it. This is one of the games that I could not pick up the first time that I had a TurboGrafx 16. It just was not much available in my area, or it just sold out all the time. But I'm looking forward to doing this one. I'll definitely be doing a video on it in the near future. Next, we have Newtopia, which is a little bit like The Legend of Zelda. I know a lot of people would say it's quite a bit like Legend of Zelda, and that would be fair. But it is a fun game. It's probably, I don't know, in my top 5 games for the system. I didn't have this one back in the day either, but I started playing it recently, and it's really quite good. I heard it had a sequel too, but it looks like it's going to be really hard to get a hold of. Next, we have Dungeon Explorer, another RPG. I've never played it, haven't even tried it yet. Unfortunately, I don't have the little cover for this. There's a couple of these that don't have that. But anyway, interesting nonetheless. Alright, let's keep going. Tailspin. Rare game, kind of expensive. In my opinion, not great. Just kind of, I don't know, the platforming's a little bit off. It's a little bit difficult. It's not terrible. I think back in the day, if I had a lot of time, I might have had a little bit of fun with it. But it's definitely not among the best platformers out there, which is kind of strange for a Disney platformer. Vigilante. This one I don't actually have the game for. I got this with a bunch of cases, and I have yet to get the game cheap enough. It's a beat 'em up, and this is a really clean looking case, so eventually I'll get the game for it. Bonk's Adventure. This of course is one of the most popular platformers on the game system, and it was basically their signature platform game, starring a big-headed cave baby. It's actually pretty good. Next we have Bonk's Revenge, which is a sequel to Bonk's Adventure. I hear this one's quite a bit better than the original, but I have not played this for more than like 5 minutes or so emulated, so I was kind of holding off to get it physically, and now I have it. Just got this one. This one's freshly in the last week, so I'm looking forward to that one. Fantasy Zone. It's a shooter, side-scrolling, a bit like Defender on steroids. In my opinion, it is one of the better shooters out there. It's available on pretty much every game system, so it's definitely not an exclusive, but it's quite a good version. I'd rather play this than, say, like the Nintendo version of it. Couple more to go. Alien Crush Pinball, again, one of the best. There's a Devil Crush Pinball. I also had that at one point. I don't have it anymore. But it's not like your standard video pinball game because, this is more popular of a genre now though. But it actually adds some video game elements things that you couldn't actually physically do with a pinball game in it. And it was among the first to do that kind of thing. And really original, fun to play game. Quite good. What was the last one? Oh, Pac-Land. You know what? I think this is the first platform I played Pac-Land on. And it is really good. It's a really good version. It's, you know, the original had those big buttons. And of course you don't really have that with the TurboGrafx 16. But it plays about as good as you could ever expect. Again, way better than the NES version. This is a really good game. I think it's been kind of underrated and forgotten over time. But really, it is a side-scrolling platformer, kind of. But it plays in an original way. And it's really pretty enjoyable. Alright, I do have one open game, or open box game, or whatever you want to call it. And that is Keith Courage in the Alpha Zones, which pretty much came with every console. It's a platformer. It's not amazing. It's not really that bad. I actually did play it quite a bit. It had a lot of good things going for it, but it just, I don't know. It wasn't all that. They really should have included Bonk. I don't understand why they didn't do that. Anyway, that is it for my TurboGrafx 16 collection. Other than Air Zonk, if there's any unusual games that you think I should pick up for it, let me know in the comments down below, because I am actively searching and collecting for this one. Even though I've been getting rid of a lot of my gaming stuff, this is one area where I'm expanding. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in a couple days. Bye!